Greetings, wonderful families and children of Casas Adobe's United Church of Christ. Happy Easter. Christ is risen. Christ is risen indeed. Or as they say in Greek, Christos synestes, Christ is risen. So I hope you are having a really great Easter this year. I know it's very hard with our lives being turned upside down the way they are with this virus. It almost doesn't seem like a holiday, and you may or may not have gotten an Easter basket or eggs this year. But if you did not, I pray that you live in anticipation of getting the wonderful gifts of Easter. And if you did, that's fantastic. Easter is a feeling. It's not like Christmas, where sometimes it's tied up in commercialism. Easter is really a feeling. And so I want to share a little story with you at the beginning. And this is one of the stories of the first Easter. And it is about the people who went to the tomb after they thought they had buried Jesus forever. After Jesus had died on the cross, they had to put his body into the tomb very quickly because it was the Sabbath and they weren't allowed to do work on the Sabbath. And treating someone's body with spices was considered working. So they waited until the end of the Sabbath. And then early in the morning on the next day, two of the disciples, two of the friends of Jesus, Peter and John, went to the tomb along with some of the women. And the women had gone to the tomb and they saw that it was opened, and they told the disciples, who went running, and they went in and they saw the tomb was empty and there was a cloth that was folded up on the top corner. And so the guy disciples ran out really quickly because they didn't know what was going on. And Jesus's really good friend Mary, she hung out and looked into the tomb after everyone was gone, and she didn't know what was going on. And so she started crying. And all of a sudden, behind her, she heard a voice of someone saying, "Why are you crying?" And she turned around and there was somebody standing there, and she thought it was just a gardener. And she said, "I'm crying because somebody took my friend's body and I don't know where they put it. If you know, could you please tell me, because I want to care for it." And because she thought that someone had come in and stolen Jesus's body. Well, what happened is the gardener, who she thought was the gardener, turned out to be Jesus, and Jesus called her name and he said, "Mary." And when she heard her name, she goes, "Rabbi," which means teacher. And she recognized Jesus, and she went to grab him and hold on to him. And he said, "No, Mary." He said, don't grab onto me and hold on to me, because I have a lot of stuff to do. And but go spread the good news and go tell my friends, because I was dead and now I'm back, and I'm not a zombie. I'm not a ghost. I am real. And so Mary went off running to spread the good news. And so this is the good news that we live in, is that even though there are horrible, terrible things that Jesus went through, that there is new life, and that it isn't just the end to be in terrible things. So it's Easter. And one of the symbols we have is an Easter egg. And eggs are symbols of new life. And these plastic ones, you can open, and what's in there? Nothing. It's empty. And this is like the empty tomb. It means that Jesus isn't trapped in the tomb. Jesus is out in the world spreading good news and caring for people. And this reminds me of our church, because right now our church is empty, but that doesn't mean that our church is dead. Our church is alive in the world. Our church is spread out and full of wonderful, loving people just like you guys. And so that is the joy that we're in. So we are Easter people. I want you to live like you're an Easter person. When you get bad news, that's not the end of everything. It might be sad. We can cry. We can be upset, but it's not the end of everything. So happy Easter. And may your Easter, it's not empty anymore. You get candy, one of those, symbol of the sweetness of life. So may your life be sweet and wonderful. Don't forget, we have Fun Day School, special Fun Day School, and some Easter activities at noon on Easter Sunday. So please join me for that. And with that, say, Christ is risen, and you guys respond, Christ is risen indeed. Amen. Thank you.